Welcome to this short video tutorial where we're going to be looking at the basics of Onshape, the online CAD package. So once you've set up your account, you need to go to onshape.com where you can sign in to start using the program. So click sign in and then you'll need to enter your login details. That should be your Bryanston School email and the password that you've set yourself up with, and then click on sign in and it will take you into the program. Now, as you can see, I've been using the program a little while, so it's got various files that I've used quite recently, folders where I've been saving them, and some other files down the bottom as well. If this is the first time you've logged in, all of this area here will be blank. So there's a couple of things that you can do to start off with the program, and that's basically create some folders or create some files. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create a file or a document. So click on Create and click on Document, and you'll notice that it comes up with a window for you to type in the title of the document. So you need to give this a little bit of thought. The reason for this is because this is online and cloud-based, it will save your files as you are working on them constantly. So you don't need to remember to save something. So I'm just going to type in title of test video for my file and click on OK. And then that will take me through to the modelling area, the modelling screen. So on this side, effectively what will appear here are all the different sketches and features that we create. So this is our design tree. You can already see that we've got an origin and 3 work planes. If you look over here, you can see the 3 work planes that are labeled front, top and right, and we have the origin in the middle where those 3 work planes intersect. So the way the software works is we draw a sketch onto a work plane or other flat surface, and then we apply a feature to that sketch to turn it into a 3-dimensional shape in the model space, and then we can use that information to create drawings or 3D print models. Along the top here you can see various icons for various tools that we can use, and these are context sensitive, so these will change depending on what it is that we're doing. So we'll get a different set of tools if we're in a sketch, a different set of tools if we are trying to create an assembly, and so on and so forth. So let's start with the absolute basics. Let's start off with a simple sketch. So I'm going to hover the mouse over to the top work plane. Now a work plane is a bit like a piece of paper that we can draw our sketch on. So I'm going to right click on the top work plane and I'm going to left click on New Sketch. So that will now, as you can see, bring up a lot of the sketching tools along the top so I can create a sketch on there. Now it's a bit easier if, like you were drawing on your desk, that you're looking down on something. So we also right click again and we can click View Normal to Sketch Plane. That orientates the top work plane so we're looking on it nice and flat. Now you see the work plane appears as a square here. As you draw on there, the work plane adapts to the size of what you're drawing. So unlike a piece of paper where you might be limited to A4 or A3, the work plane can be as big or small as you need to draw what it is you're going to draw. So I'm just going to start off with a very simple center rectangle. So the different tools along the top, different shapes, and several of them have different options. If you click on the little arrow by it, you can select different options. I'm going to create a center point rectangle. I'm just going to hover that over the origin. You can see the origin's changed to an orange color, so I can use the left mouse button to drag out a shape. It gives it some dimensions. I've set this up when I first logged on to work in millimeters. I would suggest that you do the same, but you can change the units as you go through if you want to. I can add dimensions onto these, but I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. I've just created a rectangle. Now this would be a valid sketch. Now by a valid sketch, what I mean is that we have a sketch that follows the very basic simple rule that any point on the sketch must only have 2 lines coming away from it. So we have a horizontal line and a vertical line coming away from that point. If I now choose another tool, so let's pick the circle tool, and I just draw another circle out, we now have a sketch that doesn't follow that rule. So if I think about this point here, if I go over to the left, I've got a horizontal line. To the right, I've got a horizontal line, and then I've also got an arc moving up and an arc moving down. So to turn this into a sketch that is valid, that follows those rules, I need to trim away some of the parts. So I'm going to use the cutting tool, and I'm going to cut away the inside circle or arc and the two lines here as well. So now we can ignore the dot. That's just showing us where the center of the circle is. We now have points that only have two lines coming away from them. So what do we do with the sketch? Well, once we have our sketch, we can use a feature to turn that into something three-dimensional. There's really two main choices to start with. We can either extrude, so if we click on the extrude button, if I hold the right mouse button down and move it around, you can see that that's now effectively filling in that shape and stretching it out, and I can drag that to get different sizes, or I can type the dimension in there, and if I want to go in the opposite direction, I can do that. Or if I change the end condition, I can make it symmetric, and it will go either side of the work plane that we've been working on. So that would create a solid shape from an extrusion, a bit like squeezing a piece of toothpaste. The other type of feature that we can use as a basic feature is the revolve feature, and this wants me to pick the area that I want to revolve, so I'm going to pick that area, and then I need an axis of rotation, so I'm going to select that, and I'm going to select this line, and you'll see that that then rotates that round to make it a revolved shape. And that is pretty much it. So let's just tick the box to say we're happy with that. As I said, we can draw a sketch on any flat surface or work plane. So if I hover the mouse over to select this surface, if I right click, I can select new sketch, and I can draw onto this surface. So if I right click again, I go view normal, it will spin it around. Let's pick a shape. Let's go an inscribed polygon. So I'm going to bring that to the center of this. So we can see the origins over there from where we rotated this around. But if I select an arc or move towards the middle of a circle, it will allow me to pick up the center. And I'm just going to create the shape. And you can see that if I, with this little number here, I can move the mouse in and out and change the number of sides, which I'm quite happy with. And I can also change the orientation if I want. But at the moment, all I want to do is I just want to draw that shape so I can apply a different feature. So I'm going to go to extrude, and I'm going to change the condition to through all, which means it will go through the whole shape. But I'm going to click on remove. So it's going to remove the material. You can see it's cutting a hole. If I hold down the right mouse button to turn that around, click on the tick to say I'm happy with that. So you can see that I can add material and I can take material away. And that is the basics of using